What is up, my fellow drunken philosophers, do for philosophy, the drunken philosopher here. I'm on Cassius. I'm on Cassius. All right, I don't think I have much left in here, but I'm going to take a hit for you guys. I got this giant box of a 100-foot wick. Yeah, that's pretty much gone. I got a little bit though. Well, that'll at least get us through this video, right? If I can somehow manage to not go on a 30-minute long ranting. Oh, what was I gonna say? Yeah, you're probably gonna see these more often. 20 years of abusing my eyes with contact lenses and just the super dry climate of Las Vegas, which is unfortunate because I have like 10 pairs of sunglasses. I brought like 3 pairs back from the Philippines. Anyway, let's forget about that shit. I was just thinking about how I was raised in an area where it was highly encouraged for me to not show emotion. But how is it that you don't show emotion? Well, the easiest way is to not feel emotion. And so I grew up, and many others around me grew up, and a lot of people, I think a lot of you out there probably grew up with the idea that we are not to show our emotions, that we are to be disciplined, and that to show emotion is to show weakness, is to be weak. And in order to be a man, we don't show emotions. And so growing up, I found ways to suppress my natural empathy. And now that I've refound that, I've looked back on my life and discover just how incredible it is. The things that I was able to justify doing, the way that I was able to justify being, by not feeling an appropriate amount of empathy, a normal amount of empathy for my fellow human beings or the fellow living beings on the planet. It's incredible the things I was able to justify supporting. And of course we have obvious examples from history of people who lacked empathy doing crazy ass things like convincing others to help them commit genocide. But isn't it I'm talking mostly about me and the little cruelties that I inflict on people every day. The things I do, the things I say, meant specifically to cause emotional pain. Now, why would I want to cause another emotional pain? I know what it's like to feel emotional pain, and I don't like it. Why would I inflict that on others, especially those closest to me, especially those that I claim to love the most? Now, is my being cruel to a few the equivalent of Hitler at all? No, of course it's not. But isn't it the cruelty that I justify inflicting on others? Isn't it the cruelty of the many that produces Hitlers, that creates a society and an environment that produces a Hitler? Isn't my not being a Hitler simply a matter of my cruelty being limited to my very local region? If I had the influence of lots and lots of powerful people, might I not be cruel to others on a much larger scale? If I can justify being cruel to one, I can justify being cruel to many. And if I refuse to be who I naturally am, a feeling, naturally empathetic person. See, I'm not talking about the psychopaths out there who are unable to feel. I'm talking about those of us who intentionally oppress our feelings in order to conform to some mold rather than being our natural selves. We are refusing to be what we are when we oppress our empathy for others. And so I call on all of us out there. I am cruel at times. This is my admission. This is my message mostly to myself, to be less cruel. Well, to do my best to not be cruel at all to anybody ever. Why? Because if I, as an individual, am cruel, even to a few, then I am a part of the problem of a cruel society producing cruel people who then rise up into power and then are cruel to lots and lots of people. And so in order to be the change that I want to see in the world, I need to stop being cruel to others. And my hope is the few that I influence will then go on to influence a few more, who will go on to influence a few more. It's like an emotional MLM without the scam part. All right, I don't know, like I'm really high, and that's really just like a basic thought I had as I was like, oh, Hitler was bad. Anyway, I got high, I thought some stuff, and that is drunk philosophy. The great thing about drunk philosophy is that getting high causes you to misperceive reality, causing you to believe that the wet sands that you are standing on are actually deep waters. And what's great about that is that sometimes when we go back to the wet sands and look at it from the perspective that we have when we are high, we learn new things and we see old things in new perspectives. Of course we shouldn't be cruel. Why shouldn't we be cruel? Because it feels bad. But now suddenly I see that exact same thing from this new perspective, and it somehow touches me deeper, the idea that we shouldn't be cruel to others. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Until next time, continue to drunkenly philosophy on. No. Continue to drunkenly philosophy on, my fellow drunken philosophers.